Hey guys, so today I have another watch me work for you. I did a nice little French fade with a transfer floral foil design. So I'm going to show you how I did it. Let's go ahead and get into it. So this is the set that I am filling. This is a Gel X set. And I decided to go just a little itty bitty bit shorter, and I did change the shape to an almond, as you can see. So I'm going in first with my Pana fine carbide bit. This is a very fine grit. It's like a tapered barrel, which I really love. I made sure to season the very edge of this bit because it's very sharp. It's not really like a safety rounded bit. It is very sharp. So use a hand file to season that edge really well. But then I'm just taking down all of this gel polish and thinning out the enhancement just a little bit so that I can go in with my gel to backfill the new growth and, shape up the new apex, all that good stuff. Now I'm just going in with some fingernail clippers. Now that the enhancement is very thin, I'm going in with some clippers and just taking those corners off so I can get the nice tapered, sharper almond looking shape. Here I'm using my hand file. I'm going back and forth based on what I feel like I need between the 100 and 180 grit side of the file, but I'm just shaping them up nice and sharp into the shape that I want. Now I'm using my sanding band. This is a 180 grit on my mandrel, and I am just going to kind of further smooth anything out. If there's any dips or high points in the enhancement, I'm using the sanding band to really smooth over the whole surface of the nail, focusing really on that ledge of new growth so that I can very easily fill it with more gel and I don't have to worry about it self-leveling into a giant valley. I'm so sorry about the focus here. I don't know why it's jumping. Now I'm using my cuticle pusher to push back any of the dead skin that started kind of getting stuck to the nail plate. And then I will go in with my cuticle bit. This is a very itty bitty football shaped diamond bit. And I run this at a very slow pace, probably like 3,000 to 4,000 RPMs. And I start with it in reverse to flip the skirt and push up that skin off of the nail plate, starting at like the cuticle line and then moving my way into the sidewall on my right with it in reverse. And then once I do that on all 10 fingers, I will flip it into the forward direction and go along the other sidewall to get all the skin up and off the nail plate so that I can get my gel nice and in there and it looks nice and flush with my natural nail plate. And of course, to avoid any lifting. If you leave dead tissue, sticky cuticle tissue on the nail plate and you put enhancement product over it, acrylic or gel or polygel or whatever you got, it will not stick to sticky, dead tissue. It will lift, you can get bacteria under there and cause all sorts of problems, and you want your enhancements to last as long as you can. So I really like to focus on prepping, cuticle prepping, getting all of that off the nail so that it lasts. Here I am flipping it in the forward direction, and now I'm going along kind of my left, the left side of the sidewall. Now I am just taking my nippers and nipping off any of that dead skin that's sticking up and off of the nail plate that I just removed from the nail plate. Now it's just kind of flapping and sticking onto the eponychium. So I am just taking my nippers and nipping all of that off. Now I am taking the ball bit. This is a diamond bit. It's a very small itty bitty little diamond ball bit. And I will go over my eponychium anywhere that I nipped. I will go over it with the ball bits. That way it kind of really smooths out any of those sort of sharp edges that the nippers created that can cause hangnails if you don't, oil them up or take care of them properly. So I like to go over it if I have the time. I'll go over it here during this step with my ball bit to really smooth out any blunt edges, scrapes, or cuts that the nippers created. Just cleansing all the dust off with some alcohol and a nail brush. And now I am all prepped and ready to go. This is my Elle pH Plus dehydrator. I'm just applying that over all 10, 5 fingers, whatever. I do one hand and then the other when I'm working on myself. Now I'm going in with my Elle primer, applying that to all 5 fingers. Now I'm going in with my gel. This is the Luminary Multiflex in the color Growth. And you're gonna see me apply it as I always have. And I have recently learned, along with it feels like everybody else on Instagram, that we do not apply tinted bases as thinly as we probably should. So what you're gonna see in this video, I don't apply tinted bases this way anymore. I actually don't offer tinted bases at the moment to clients. I have really fallen in love with the Cocoist Nail Thought Clear Builder Base. So I've been using that a lot lately. That's what I'm wearing, and that's what all of my clients have on their nails. But when we know better, we do better. The more we learn, the more we grow. So this is the Luminary gel, but I would recommend applying it just a little bit thinner. I also now do kind of one thin coat along all 5 nails, cure it as kind of like a base, and then I will go in with a slip layer and a very, very thin builder coat. And if it's not thick enough yet to be a nail enhancement, cure it and go in for another coat. Tinted bases are tricky because the light can't necessarily, there's no way to know for sure that the light is penetrating all the way through a tinted base. So I think her name is Hillary Dawn. I'm not 100% sure on her name, but I'm going to put it here so that you guys can see. She has a great video all about this topic. I watched the whole thing. It was like a live that she saved. So it's like an hour long, but it is so helpful if you are new to tinted bases or if you also are, learning more about tinted bases. I really recommend that video. It's a great one to watch.
Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you?
Do not be afraid to use a detail brush. This detail brush that I use is by Beetles. It's technically like a nail art brush, but I use it for detail work. Sometimes I use it to apply kind of like a dollop for the apex because you don't want the same thickness all over your whole nail enhancement. You want the majority of the structure and the thickness to be right along the center of the nail and nice and thin toward the cuticle and sidewall so that it grows out really nice and flush. So I like to use my detail brush to kind of move the gel around where I want it, build up the apex, but also to thin out the sidewalls. The detail brush is very versatile, so do not be afraid to move your gel around. That's the beauty of gel. You can play with it for as long as you need to, and once you're happy with it, cure it. And if you're not perfectly happy with it, but you've been working on the same nail for 20 minutes, cure it. You can always file it later. Now I'm using a lint-free wipe with some alcohol to cleanse off that inhibition layer, that nice and tacky layer that's left over on the gel. You just cleanse that off really, really well. Now I'm making sure to cap my brushes before I start filing. That is a mistake you will only make once. Either put your brushes away, cap them, whatever you gotta do before you start filing, because there's nothing worse than dust in your gel brush. Actually, the only thing that would probably be worse is if you accidentally cured your gel brush, but dust in it is a close second. So now I'm just going in with my 180 sanding band to smooth out the surface. This step helps me find any low spots in my gel, just in case anything didn't self-level or I was struggling to get a really nice shape. This is just gonna help refine it. keep the height and the thickness in the apex and keep all around the perimeter of the nail, cuticle, sidewalls, and free edge nice and thin. Cleansing one more time, getting rid of any of that dust. The reason I cleanse before I go in with the file is that if you try to file off this specific inhibition layer, it can kind of goop up and ruin your file. So cleanse, file, cleanse again. Now I'm going in with my base coat. I am ready to do the art. So I'm going in with my Tammy Taylor Jelligance Flawless Foundation base coat, and I am doing a coat of this Polish by Model Ones. It's kind of like an off-white, but I felt like it matched the background of my transfer foil really well, so this is the color I went with. And I am doing 2 coats of this on my thumb and my ring finger. That is the sort of pattern that I'm going with for this transfer. So this is the transfer that I'm using. It's by Magpie, and it is adorable. It's called Doug. And this transfer foil glue by Elle is the best one I've used. I've used a couple different brands of transfer foil gel glue, and this is without a doubt the best one that I've tried. I cure this for a full 2 minutes. That is important, to cure your transfer gel glue for a full 2 minutes. You want to give it 2 minutes, and then you want to let it cool off a little bit before you go in with your foil. I like to cut my foils to a nice little rectangle shape so that I'm not fidgeting with a bunch of extra foil, but I just place that on the nail. Sometimes I will do a couple of little slits in each corner diagonally so that I can lay the foil down really nicely and it kind of curves to the shape of the nail. I don't always do that, you don't always have to, but that is a nice tip as well. So this is the best way I've found so far to apply transfer foils. Just rub it down really, really well with my other nail. That's what I have found works the best. And then pull it off when you see that it is all transferred. And then I will go over this foil with 1 coat of my top coat. Then I will go in and gently file the free edge away. And then I will top coat it 1 more time. That is the key to transfer foils. They are a pain. Sometimes they like to chip and lift really, really easily, but this is one of the best ways that I found. Sometimes I even find encapsulating them works really well. So doing a nice thin layer of gel and then transfer foil and then build your enhancement on top of it, that also works really well. It just kind of is up to personal preference. Now for the French fade, or baby boomers as some people like to call them, I am going over my gel with the Beetles matte top coat. This is the best stinking matte top coat there is. There is 2 bottles in the mail on their way to me right now. It's so good. Then I'm going in with the Magpie pigment in the color Baby. This is a loose pigment, and I'm taking a literal eyeshadow brush and I'm beginning to apply that on the very free edge. I want the very free edge to be the most pigmented, and then as there's less product on my brush, I will start to move up the nail toward the cuticle. Then I am going to go ahead and top coat and make sure to cap the free edge really, really well. Cure it, and you are good to go. This is my favorite way I found to do any type of ombres, which I'm sure has a lot to do with the fact that I started out in makeup, so I am very accustomed to blending powders. I am not as accustomed to blending liquids, aka gel polish. So this is my favorite way that I found. Magpie pigments are so, so good. I've really been impressed with them.
about me and you? Can we talk about the truth?
Finally, we are at the very last step. This is my Young Nails Rose Cuticle Oil. I absolutely love it. So I am just rubbing that into my cuticles, keeping everything nice and moisturized. And this is the finished look. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did. Hopefully the camera bobbing was less of an issue this time. I really hope it was. That is everything for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss any future videos of mine, and I will see you guys next time.
I'm so cold. Yeah, my heart's sinking like a